Hello friends, welcome to part 4 of my Valentine's Day treat series, Raspberry Cream Puffs, delicate choux pastry shells crowned with a crisp pink Craquelin sugar crust, baked to golden perfection and filled with luscious raspberry cream. Each bite is a contrast of crunch and clouds of silky cream filling bursting with fresh berry flavor. A perfect balance of texture and brightness, these are sweet, slightly tart, and irresistibly light. Starting with our Craquelin topping, combine 150 grams of unsalted butter, 127 grams all-purpose flour, 127 grams of granulated sugar, and a pinch of kosher salt in the bowl of a stand mixer fitted with your paddle attachment. Mix on low speed to combine. To make them a bit more festive, I add a few drops of red gel food coloring and then continue to mix until the dough comes together and the color is fully incorporated. Place your dough between 2 sheets of parchment paper and roll it out until it is about 1/8 of an inch thick. Transfer your Craquelin dough to a freezer and allow it to freeze for about an hour until solid. While that's freezing, make your choux pastry. In a medium pan, combine 115 grams unsalted butter, 1 cup of water, 1 tablespoon of granulated sugar, and 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt. When the butter is melted and the mixture comes to a simmer, reduce your heat to low and add 133 grams of all-purpose flour and stir to combine. Continue mixing over the heat for a few minutes until the dough forms a ball that pulls away from the sides of the pan. Remove from the heat and continue stirring for a few more minutes to allow the dough to cool slightly. Then add 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract and the first addition of your eggs. I put all 4 of my eggs into a bowl and mixed them together, then added a little at a time. But you can also add your eggs individually. Just be aware that you may not need the entire 4th egg depending on the moisture level of your dough. When your dough is glossy and smooth, test for proper drop texture. The dough should slowly glide off and leave a V-shaped tail hanging from your spoon. Transfer your choux pastry to a piping bag with a large round tip. I am using an 18-inch pastry bag and a 1A piping tip here. Then pipe your pastry in dollops onto a silicone mat or parchment paper. Each dollop is about 1.5 inches wide and 1 inch tall. When your choux is piped, take your frozen Craquelin from the freezer and use a cookie cutter about the same size or slightly larger than your choux dollops to cut out circles of sugar paste. Place your Craquelin circles on top of the choux. Craquelin dough is much harder to handle if it isn't frozen, so work quickly and try to avoid handling it with your hands as much as you can. I figured out partway through this process that using a spatula is very helpful. Next, we bake our cream puffs. This first batch was baked at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 minutes, and as you're about to see, I ran into a few issues. My choux was piped too close together, so they all ran into each other as they puffed up. This meant that the heat could not circulate around each one, so they did not dry out, and they deflated when I opened my oven. My craquelin also turned brown because it got too hot. That's right, somehow I managed to underbake and overbake these all at the same time. Even though these did not look great, they tasted amazing. The crispy sugar crust on top really elevates the choux pastry, and my toddler had zero qualms about eating these. I wanted to make a better batch though, so I tried again. This time I made sure each cream puff had plenty of room, and I adjusted my bake time and temperature. The high sugar content in the craquelin makes it susceptible to browning at high temperatures, so these went into the oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 minutes, and then I reduced the temperature to 350 degrees Fahrenheit for the remaining 20 minutes. This batch was beautiful. The craquelin still had its lovely pink color, the choux pastry retained its shape, and turned a lovely golden brown. Pastry this lovely deserves a luxurious filling. Into a small saucepan goes 226 grams of raspberries, you can use frozen or fresh, and 100 grams of granulated sugar. Cook your berries over medium-low heat until the sugar is dissolved and the mixture comes to a boil. If you want to remove the seeds, put the berry sauce through a fine mesh sieve. Cover the surface with plastic wrap and place in the refrigerator for a couple of hours until it is completely chilled. Then put 2 tablespoons of water into a microwave-safe bowl and sprinkle 1 teaspoon of unflavored gelatin over the top. Mix together and set aside for 10 to 15 minutes to allow the gelatin to bloom. Into the bowl of a stand mixer, combine 360 ml or 1½ cups of heavy cream, 2 tablespoons of confectioner sugar, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Whisk at medium speed. Now microwave your bloomed gelatin for 10 seconds or so until it is just dissolved. Do not allow your gelatin to boil. I let my gelatin cool slightly, then added it to my whipped cream. When your cream reaches mid-peak stage, add your chilled fruit coulis, and then whip again until you get back to medium peaks. Transfer your cream to a piping bag fitted with a Bismarck or Wilton 230 tip. Gently pierce the bottoms of your cream puffs and pipe the cream in until you feel it begin to gently push the piping bag back out. This cream recipe only filled about half of my batch of cream puffs, so I would recommend doubling it if you want to have enough to fill them all. Now let's get a look at that cross section. I shared these at a party, and my favorite review was,
"These are so good, I am confident that when we die, these are what we will be given to eat at the pearly gates."
I'd say that means they should be good enough to make for someone special in your life. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone! Thanks so much for watching, and stay sweet.